Over the years, I've experimented with a number of workouts and failed to see the promised gains. Although the plans were supposedly scientifically sound, they failed to consider my different physiology. I was more of a marathoner, slow to tire. I was a bit of a hard gainer that saw strength gains but little increase in muscle size. It was only when I understood my muscle fiber composition that I could create my own training program to overcome my physiological limitations. I want to share this knowledge because it was foundational for me and my success, and it could also make a difference for you. It's time for your total fitness journey. Hey there, Coach Rick for X3TF, where our focus is educating you on the trifecta of exercise, nutrition, and mind-body to achieve total fitness. I am a broken record about approaching our health with a one-size-fits-all mentality. The science behind muscle fibers often gets overlooked in generic exercise plans. It's important to understand the different types of muscle fibers to help you structure your training protocols to better reach your goals. Now, this episode gets a little more into the science so you can understand the mechanisms in case you need to adjust your training. We will wrap it up with some key takeaways for you to consider. Okay, skeletal muscle has two general categories based on how quickly it contracts: slow twitch, type 1, and fast twitch, type 2 muscle fibers. Everyone has them, but our individual genetics, hormones, and exercise habits contribute to the varying percentage of different muscle fiber types. Like all things in the body, we're similar, but not an exact copy of one another. Stick with me here. Slow twitch type 1 fibers are smaller with more aerobic power and provide lower levels of force production for longer periods. Fast twitch type 2 fibers are larger with a greater anaerobic capacity, providing higher levels of force production for a shorter period of time. Fast twitch type muscles are classified into two subtypes, 2A and 2X. Type 2X fatigue more easily than slow twitch type 1 fibers, while 2A is an intermediary. To give you an example, successful marathoners have more likely a predominance of slow twitch type 1 fibers, while successful sprinters have a higher percentage of fast twitch type 2 fibers. Fast twitch muscle fibers have a greater potential for muscular hypertrophy, think size, though even slow twitch fibers can experience modest hypertrophy as well. Here's another example. Bodybuilders experiencing successful gains and muscle hypertrophy in their strength training protocols have most likely a larger percentage of fast twitch type 2 fibers. Now, everyone can see positive results from endurance and strength training, regardless of the predominance of muscle fiber types in their bodies. Adaptations in our training protocols can create small shifts in muscle fiber composition. What this means is that even marathoners who decide to become sprinters can see adaptations like hypertrophy through training. As I mentioned at the start of the segment, I was not seeing the hypertrophy gains I sought. It was strength over size. I had to come to terms with the fact that I was a bit of a hard gainer when it comes to muscle mass. Because I likely have a predominance of slow twitch type 1 fibers, think marathoner, I employed a standard hypertrophy protocol, 6 to 12 reps using 70 to 80% of my 1 rep max across 3 to 6 sets. The key here is a short rest duration of 30 to 90 seconds, but I rarely exceeded 60-second rests. And to level up the intensity, I sporadically would rest only 15 seconds between sets. For me, the changing point was the high intensity with little rest to promote that adaptation. Now, before I switched my training protocol, my focus was on heavier weight and longer rest periods of 2 to 3 minutes. It was a good workout, but the long rest periods seemed to be counterproductive for my training goal. Okay, let's now talk tactics for your own training considerations. Here are some key areas to keep in mind regarding muscle fibers when designing your own exercise protocols. First, identify where you're at and what your goals are. As a rule of thumb, the muscle fibers recruited in exercise will be the ones that will adapt. Do you want to train for endurance, speed, strength gains, or muscular size and definition? Are you seeing results with your current protocols? Be realistic. Number 2, change up your exercise regimen. Low intensity exercise focused on endurance will recruit more type 1 slow twitch fibers. Higher intensity exercise will focus more on type 2 fast twitch muscle fibers. This applies to almost any modality. Even if you're happy with your current results, changing up your routine to train different muscle fiber types will make you a better athlete. If you're used to prolonged steady-state cardio, switch to HIIT or high-intensity interval training focused on power, or vice versa if you're wanting to improve your endurance. 3. Decrease rest periods. Remember, type 1 fibers fatigue slower and recover quicker since their focus is on endurance. Type 2 fibers are responsible for higher force and shorter duration contractions that net muscle size and definition. A general rule of thumb is that the shorter the rest period, the more focus on hypertrophy. The longer the rest, the more focus is on endurance. If you're used to lifting heavy weights in the gym and having rest periods of a couple of minutes, try a lighter weight with a reduced rest time to switch it up. 4. Decrease intensity and volume. Understanding intensity is key, whether you're a bodybuilder or endurance athlete, or just in it for general fitness and health. Lower intensity and higher volume sets lead to better endurance. Think lighter weight, more reps, or longer runs at a slower pace. Higher intensity and lower volume sets lead to adaptations in muscular size. Think heavier weight, less reps, or short sprints at a faster pace. 5. Patience is key. In the end, understanding that you have different muscle fiber types is just one part of the physiological equation that includes muscle length and limb length. Work with what you have and you'll see great results. Like with all new training programs, give yourself at least 4 to 6 weeks before you start to assess the progress with your current training protocols. Always be safe, never train injured, and remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. The journey is part of the reward. Remember, you can do this. Don't wish for it, work for it. Before you go, please hit that little subscribe button and notification bell to keep up to date on X3TF's programming that looks to help you achieve total fitness.